Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's HJ Goes Live. I'm Laura here from Hairdressers Journal International, and in this morning's session, Salon Guru founder Phil Evans will be sharing a checklist for how to rebuild your salon business post-COVID. We'll be talking about how to increase clients, how to boost your income, or even to employ new staff if needed. This session is supported by Salon Guru, so if you would like to find out more about how to rebuild your hair business with Salon Guru using Phil's checklist, you can go to salonguru.net/rebuild, which we'll include in the comments for you. And it should have everything you need to follow up on after this session as well. So thank you so much for joining us today, Phil.
Good morning.
It's great to have you. And I should add that Phil is based in Spain and it's gorgeous and sunny there and looks amazing at the moment, which I'm very jealous about.
Yeah, it's the first really sunny day this year. So I'm looking forward to having some time off later.
Oh, brilliant. Well, it's great to have you here with us today to talk about how to rebuild your hair business, which is perfect timing for everyone, wherever you're based in the UK or elsewhere. Why do you think it's so important, Phil, for hair businesses to look at how to rebuild right now?
I'll talk a little bit about my experience first. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and myself and my team, I've got a team of 17 people around the world. We look after about 200 salons. And I think it's really important now, as we're coming hopefully to the end of this pandemic, is to take the time and make plans for what your business will look like for the next year or two. And that will probably mean some rebuilding. Now, our skill set as a company covers salon websites, which is obviously where we started our business, but social media advertising, sending emails to clients, SEO, Google Rank, Google adverts. So we cover the broad range of helping salons get clients. And I think that will be key for the rest of this year and going into next year. There's going to be so much turmoil within the industry in all sorts of ways, good and bad. But one of the key things will be making sure that you've got a constant influx of new clients in through the door. So that's one of the key areas I'm going to be covering today: new clients through the door or existing clients, and also staff.
Brilliant. So it's important not to sit on your laurels while the influx of clients are still coming in, that you're getting through all of your kind of existing clients, but making sure that you're prepped and ready for when that dies down again.
I talk to probably at least 5 salons a day, clients, about how does it feel, what's going on, what are you thinking. So it's good because I get a good feel for what's happening in the industry. And we've got many clients in the UK from Aberdeen down to Cornwall and Wales and Ireland, all across America, Tampa, Denver, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. So it's great because we're probably in a unique position of talking to so many salon owners every single day about the problems they're encountering, the solutions we're finding, and what's working and what's not. It gives us a really good insight into, perhaps the best things to do at this particular point in time.
Definitely. Well, that's a great place to start, isn't it, Phil? What would you say are the key areas that salon owners should be considering to rebuild their business right now?
Right. So I'm going to go through 3 key things today. First of all, I'm going to look at the staff, because I know that's a real issue for many salons. So we're going to go through staff. Then we're going to look at rebuilding your income, your clientele income, which will be both existing clients and new clients. So looking at different ways people are doing that. But then also I'm going to look at what I call the assets of the business, things that really are of enormous importance to you as a salon. Have a plan to improve them, and things like your images, your social media, your emails. I'll go through all that at the end, but it's all on the rebuild checklist that's on our website. So, you haven't got to take notes, just sit back and enjoy the conversation. And then at the end, go to our website and look through the notes, and hopefully it'll give you a plan.
Brilliant. And if you are tuning in live, you're more than welcome to ask any questions, or if you're tuning in later, I'm sure Phil would be happy for you to reach out to him.
Well, there's a do you want to chat button on our website, which will put you in touch with one of my assistants who will, if you wanted to have a chat with me, they'll book a phone call for you. One of the key things I think we've got to realize, I'm just planning to go back to the gym soon. I think we're all feeling like that at the moment, but we all know that if you go back to the gym, you can't just go there once. If you're going to lose this weight that most of us have gained during the lockdown, then you've got to have a plan and you've got to stick to it. And that's the same with rebuilding your business. You know, what I'm trying to do today is put people on the right track, give them lots of ideas. Not everything may relate to every salon, but get you on the right track and build a plan. Get a plan that's going to help you rebuild the parts of your business that have been most affected by the turmoil of the last 12, 15 months. And then once you've got that plan, constantly revisit it, change it, you know, get some help. And look at one of the key things I'm going to keep returning to is look at what the best salons do. You know, you don't need to reinvent a wheel. If you're looking for how to take great pictures, just go and follow all the social media for the biggest salons and see what they do. And you know, you're not copying, you're taking tips. You know, you're following the best example. So that's a key thing of this. Have a plan, get some expert help, and then learn from the best salons. So
Brilliant.
my starting point was staff. And, you know, speaking to salons every day, that is a real issue for most salons I talk to. So I'm going to cover in a minute different ways that you can look to perhaps, you know, increase your team. You know, I've spoke to salons where, you know, and staff haven't always been reasonable during this lockdown and coming out of it. You know, I've heard some really terrible stories about staff and clients being unreasonable, but staff, you know, who've after taking over 12 months of furlough payments, you know, within days of coming back and being fully booked up for weeks in advance, then decide to either walk out the door or demand more money. And it's a kick in the teeth. So we've got to realize that this is going on, and it's not just you. If you're getting this, it's not just you. Every salon is suffering from staff turmoil, changes. So accept it. You know, we've got to deal with it. So here's some ideas about how to deal with it. Now, again, on that checklist, I've got some a whole guide about recruitment, and some really good examples, because I think nothing works better than seeing how other people do this. So I've given some good examples of quite a few of our clients who've got what I think are really good recruitment pages on their website.
Oh, brilliant.
When you're recruiting, your first thing, you've got to capture somebody's attention. Social media is great for that. You know, you're going to tell somebody we have a vacancy. So I would always say that your starting point is going to be social media, but you're going to want to send them somewhere, because they're going to want to know more. You know, you've got to tell them the whole story. So actually, you need a really good web page on your website. Sell yourself, sell the vacancy, describe the skills you're going to need, put on some pictures of the salon interior. Possibly think about the incentives that you offer your team. You know, this might be the time that we all need a rethink. I mean, a few of my salons are doing every other weekend off, which was just unheard of in the salon industry. But if you want to attract good people, then perhaps you need to rethink your package and see what other people are doing, and perhaps, you know, change that. But again, that would be a great place to describe your new package on your website. So a new vacancy page, a new package possibly, and then your social media, get the message out there.
That's a really good point, actually, Phil, isn't it? Because not only is your social media attracting clients, you're selling yourself to clients, but you're also selling yourself to potential new team members as well. So you need to sell that kind of style of living, style of working.
Yeah, you'd be amazed how many local hairdressers will follow your page. But the problem we all face with social media is it's changed from what it was 5 years ago. If you put something on your Facebook page or Instagram, look at the numbers, you're actually reaching very few people, because Facebook has changed so that it's monetized the reach of its posts. It wants you to pay. You know, you will reach 20, 30, 40 people with a post on your Facebook page, but they will just be your fans. So I would definitely post to your Facebook page, because it's reaching people for free. And that's particularly useful if you're looking for apprentices, because you're not looking for a skill set, you're looking for the right kind of young person, and your customers may well be the best place to say, oh, you know, our Doreen's Jane is looking for something perfect, because they know that the child, they know the kind of interest to go. So start with a social post to your page, possibly boost that post. Now, if you boost properly, you spend £10, but you also limit it to just very local, because you don't want it reaching your fans who live in Australia or even Scotland. If you're in London, you want to keep it within miles of your salon. So boost it to £10, limit it to a few miles of the salon. That means you're telling your clients that you've got this vacancy, and do they know anybody? But then also, I've listed the things you can do beyond just posting on social media. Indeed is proving to be a really successful way for many of our salons to get staff. But there are others. There's things like Glassdoor and LinkedIn. There are many other places where you can put your vacancy for free. And if that doesn't work, possibly think about paying to, I think it's called sponsoring on Indeed. And you can also create a company page. If you're likely to be recruiting forevermore, and many salons are, there's always some kind of vacancy, create that page on Indeed. And then you can talk about all the vacancies and all the opportunities that you have.
That's interesting, because there's a number of jobs websites out there, isn't there? Would you say Indeed is a particularly good one for hair businesses?
That's what I'm being told. I don't place my job vacancies on Indeed because I'm not a salon, but my salon owners do. And I heard of one yesterday. They had 6 applicants from a job post on Indeed. That's great. That's unusual, but it's great. So certainly, I would say with all of these things, do it all. It doesn't cost you money. Initially, do it all. Once perhaps they don't work, if you're still struggling, then the next obvious thing is to do some social media targeted advertising. I've covered this many times, but not all of the listeners may know that you can target just hairdressers or just beauticians. You can create an advert on Facebook, and you can target only people who either in their interest, say they're a colorist or a hairstylist, or follow the Hairdressers Journal or the National Hairdressers Federation or Behind the Chair. So what you're doing is you're targeting an advert at a relatively small set of people. So it's not going to cost you a lot of money. You might only be reaching 500 people. So using targeted advertising for hairdressers or beauticians is a great way, a really good way of putting your message in front of qualified hairdressers.
Brilliant. And I guess it's a quality game that you're wanting to play rather than quantity, isn't it? So like you say, you want to get the quality. You don't want to just be reaching out to an office worker who doesn't work in a salon. And
think about your message. I've been doing a campaign for Voodoo in Liverpool, and we're running a social media advertising campaign, but it clicks through to their website, and we put a lot of time and effort into what we call the landing page. Really punchy, really sweet, short, works perfectly on a mobile phone, and a really simple leave your information for a callback, because you need to put yourself in the mind of the person that's possibly going to make contact. You've got 10 seconds to impress them and make it easy. So
that's fantastic. So is Voodoo a good example then, Phil, for that, to have a look at what?
And on that rebuild checklist, I've got examples from, just looking now, I've got Gatsby and Miller, and I've got Elements in Bishop Stortford, and I've got Darren Michael in Oldham, and I've got Shane's in Edinburgh. And so there are lots of other salons and what they do. So, what works for one won't work for everybody. So I've tried to give you an exhaustive checklist. Do all of these things, and at the end, then start spending some money on a paid advert.
That's brilliant. So cherry pick from all of the different examples that you've got and see what would work for you.
And always follow the best salons in your area. See what they're doing. You'll learn a lot from that. And I just looked at Avant-Garde in Worcester. It's one of our clients. Beautiful website. It's a really good post came up on my social media this morning. Very much just what I've been saying. Tells the story really well. Links through to their website. Great web page. Good image. All the things that you should be doing.
And that was Avant-Garde in Worcester.
In Worcester, then Hereford and Worcester.
Yeah, brilliant. There's lots of different places then that you could follow straight away at the click of a button.
Yeah. Well, if you go to our website and under the menu clients, all 200 plus of our clients are listed and clickable, so you can go straight to the website, and from the website go to the social media, follow them. There's 200 there straight away.
Brilliant.
These are people who are engaged in their digital marketing because they work with us, so they tend to be quite good at this.
Yeah, well, that's great advice, Phil. Fantastic.
So that was rebuilding your team, and that's an ongoing thing. You think you've got it sorted, and then somebody else will hand in the notice tomorrow. So you need to be better at this, and develop the skills you can use from now on. It also removes some of the stress, because if you know you can cope with it, next time it happens, it won't be quite such a burden.
You've got that plan in place, and you're just ready to switch it on.
So number 2 was rebuilding your income, because most of us have had very little income, including ourselves. We have 200 salons, and a lot of them were on either very reduced hours or no hours at all for a long time. So we're all looking to rebuild our income. We've been fortunate, and I think a lot of salons are understanding this message that we need to look forward and plan and work. So we've had more new clients sign up in the last 3 months than at any time in our 20-year history. So it shows that salons are really starting to think, I need to really get on with this. I need to be, on the game, because other salons will, and it's going to be tough this year. I think there's going to be a lot of good stuff and a lot of difficult stuff. So have a plan for it. So rebuilding your income. Right, so I've started with your existing clients because I think there's a lot of nervousness amongst clients. I was just looking at a Treatwell survey this morning, and it said 96% of Londoners are scared about going back to the salon, which is, I doubt it's a London thing, and I think there are each city has its own. I've got a client in New York, and New York for a long time has just been a ghost town. So there are different areas with different issues, but I think there's a nervousness. So there are things you need to do to bring your existing clients back to the salon. And I've given some quick tips on the guide. Think about what you're going to be saying and when, and be ready to change it, because as we come out of lockdown, there'll be scares about variants, and there may be mini lockdowns in areas. So you need to be kind of light on your feet and be ready to send out another message. But we've been sending, for many of our clients, an email a week to all of their clients, because it's constant updates, because that gives people confidence. I mean, I said to my partner the other day, I'm one of those people that if I know as much as I can about something, it gives me less stress. And I think clients are the same. If they know what your safety procedures are, how they book, how they can pay, how it's all changed when they come to the salon, they're far less stressed and far more likely to make that appointment.
And even if they just know the process, Phil, like from the moment that you walk in, this is what's going to happen. So they're not coming in blind and feeling anxious about what they need to do, because that's the other thing, isn't it? Is that if you do, every place you go to has different health and safety rules. So clients might feel nervous about not being prepared, or not bringing the right thing with them.
I've given an example of Hugh Campbell in Limerick. They've done a simple video, and you can do these yourself, with a tablet. Follow somebody through the front door and say, right, we're at the front door. Here's where you wait and ring the bell, and you're at reception. And this is where if you just follow that for 30 seconds and explain the differences about having a drink, about going to the toilet, about hanging up your coat, people will see actually it's not that difficult. Yeah. It's just some new processes along the way. You can create one of those videos, you can put it on your social media, you can have it on your website, and then you can send it out via email, and then you can link to it on your social media. So you've kind of done all that you need to do. Have a really good story, tell that story in all the places that you can.
That's fantastic, Phil.
I've done examples, so anybody can see how to do this themselves.
Definitely. And I guess if you've got a particularly anxious client, you can then say to them, look, here's the video, and send it to them and say, look, we've done this for you effectively to make you feel more comfortable.
And talk about the positives. I've heard quite a few salons talk about that some of these changes have been really positive. More space, longer appointments. New safety procedures. I mean, there are very few colds and flu around this year because we're all wearing masks, and if some of this will carry on. So I think we actually, in some ways, there will be some changes that will stay with us for quite some time. It may be the longer appointments, it may be the screens between. So, but talk about it being a very relaxed atmosphere now, and being a warm welcome. Sell yourself, because we spent 12 months being very kind of COVID aware and lots of checklists and lots of do's and don'ts. Let's start just being welcoming, and you'll find your appointment easy, simple, straightforward. Don't worry about it.
And making it a memorable experience, that's part of it as well, Phil, isn't it? Making sure that everyone feels comfortable. Donna Garnham has said, hello, Phil.
Hi, Donna.
And she said, she agrees that the industry has changed, but in terms of the what we were talking about earlier with gaining new team members, she feels that flexible working is a must now, and offering that to your staff.
Yeah. I think we're fortunate, the 200 salons we work with, because they come to us for a website. They're probably amongst the most engaged in terms of where can I take my business and what I'm going to do with it. They're probably also the most forward thinking in what can I do in terms of my staff packages and flexible timing and the commission rates. And so I think we work with a group of salons that already think like that, but there are many salons out there that don't and will really struggle with this. So I think sit back, take the time, read what other people are doing, and you'll come to an answer.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, so that was existing clients. It's mainly with existing clients. It's about telling a good story, and the examples are all over the website. Emails that we send, website pages that talk about COVID. There's lots of examples there. But then the next part was talking about the new clients, bringing new clients through the door.
And this is how you're going to boost your income as well, Phil, because we were talking about the boosting income element, weren't we?
Yeah. And there are a lot of new clients looking for salons. I hear this wherever I go. A lot of clients will be looking for a new salon. Could be that a key member of staff has left, so that the stylist they used to go isn't there anymore, and that's a danger point for any salon because you could lose them. Or it could just be that they want to change. A lot of people seem to have come out of the COVID lockdowns with a fresh view on everything. Where I want to work, where I want to go, what I want to do. So, but if you can refresh your story, you can keep them. But one of the things I would start with is, first of all, you need to decide when you're going to need to do this. Look at your appointment book. Don't leave it too long. Don't wait till you've got a quiet week. If you see signs of it quietening down, and most of my salons are seeing that already, now's the time to get planning. So get planning what you're going to do to fill those gaps. Think about what you're going to offer. We do all kinds of campaigns. I've just done one in Covent Garden, which is a nice low level, low cost, £5 a day kind of awareness. We are a great salon for balayage. No discount, just lovely pictures within about a 2-mile radius. So really close, targeted social media, great pictures, no discount. That'll probably switch next week to a new client offer using the same images and the same. We'll then probably introduce an introductory new client discount for balayage. We've done many of these for that salon in the past, and it will bring a lot of new clients in. So that's one way of doing it. Go on. Sorry.
Is that boosted social media posts that you're doing with that salon, or is that just organic, putting it up on there?
No, a targeted advert. So boosted posts are fine if you want to spend £10 quickly and easily. But if you want to actually be cleverer about what you do a targeted advert, because a targeted advert will let you do an awful lot more. I'm going to come to those in a minute. But just finishing off on these other things that you can do. Before you go off and spend money on advertising as well, and it may not be a new client of it, maybe I had a conversation with another London salon yesterday. They wanted to boost their extensions business. They already do extensions. They've already got the skill set. So the first thing to do is look at the website, the hair extensions page. How well does it rank on Google? Is it bringing, and does it tell the story really well? Is it full of pictures of your client's hair? Because if you've got a great page about hair extensions with lots of pictures that are your own, not supplier images from Raccoon or any other great lens, because they're lovely, but that's not going to persuade a client. What's going to persuade a client are pictures of you before and afters, hair extensions.
Real hair,
So
definitely.
revisit your webpage, update it. Once you're really telling a good story on your website, that's the time to then do a social media advertising campaign. So you could do a hair extensions advert linked through to the page where you're now telling a much better story, but also you can target people. But the nice thing about using adverts rather than boosting, you can do a lot of targeting. You can target by age group and gender. So I will often do, if I'm doing a new client campaign, I will often do different visuals for different age groups, because a hair color advert for an under 25 does not want to look the same as an over 45. So age group is an important demographic. Postcodes. If you're doing hair extensions, there may be postcodes in your catchment area that are more affluent than others. So spend your money where it's most likely to work.
That's really, that is interesting. And where would you put these adverts, Phil?
Both Facebook and Instagram.
Both Facebook and Instagram.
And you can actually choose when you're doing it to place on one or the other. I actually always leave it to Facebook to decide, because it will place the advert based on that person's history of interacting with Facebook and Instagram. So it knows where to put the advert, and they tend to be Instagram under 25, Facebook over 25. But Facebook knows. So if you put it out there, I want to put this advert out there for, talking about Donna, she's from Ipswich. So we get an advert for Ipswich. We put the advert out there. Facebook knows, right, that particular image for that age range, I'm going to do mostly on Instagram, whereas this particular ad set, I'm going to do mostly on Facebook. So let Facebook do that for you. And
just for anyone tuning in who doesn't realise, Facebook owns Instagram, so it's the same company effectively. So,
but you can also do other targeting. You can do people who previously shown an interest in hair extensions, because Facebook is brilliant at capturing data. It knows so much of every one of us. So if you say, just show this advert to people that have already shown interest in hair extensions, you're going to exclude the 90% of women that don't get hair extensions, which is what you want to do, because otherwise you're wasting money. Target it at the people that have already shown an interest in hair extensions.
And how much would an advert be to put on to Facebook and Instagram?
You can spend as much as you want. I mean, that balayage one I did in Covent Garden was spending £5 a day. But it's low level. You know, we are great at balayage. But if you're doing a much bigger campaign, I've got a salon in Tampa in Florida, hair extensions, hand-tied weaves, and they're typically about $1,000 a time to install. So they spend, I think I'm on $120 a day, their budget. So whatever budget works for you. There is no maximum or minimum. Most of my clients will probably spend between 10, 20, £30 a day, depending on their size and how long the campaign's going to run.
Brilliant. So if you want to get new clients and boost your income, your first piece of advice would be to start creating adverts on Facebook.
The first thing is fix your website. If you're not telling a great story on your website, where are you going to send them when they click the advert? Start with your website, look at your page for the thing. If it's balayage, or if it's derma fillers, or if it's hair extensions, go and have a look at the page you're going to send them to, because if that's not doing a good job, you're missing something that doesn't cost you any money to fix. Go and fix your web page. Once you've got a great web page, that's also going to spin off. It's going to improve your SEO. You're going to be higher on Google because you've just refreshed your hair extensions page. So immediately you're on the right path to getting free traffic from Google search. Now you can go back and do a really good advert that will send them through to that page.
Perfect. Brilliant. Nick has said, this was going back to the recruitment earlier, Nick Ted.
Yes, from Bliss in Nottingham.
Oh, fantastic. He says, our recruitment campaign has been successful after losing 2 key stylists. So that's fantastic, isn't it? So he's another one to look at. And what's Nick Ted's salon for anyone who wants to have a look at?
Bliss. B-L-I-S-S. Bliss in Nottingham and Loughborough.
Perfect. So have a look at Bliss in Nottingham and Loughborough to see what Nick has done to with his recruitment campaign after losing 2 key stylists.
On the checklist, I've added more things about advertising, more tips. I noticed, we're on 11:27 already, so I'll speed up a little bit. There is a checklist there of other things to do that will make this work better for you if you're doing advertising.
That's brilliant. So we've spoken about boosting income and recruitment and getting new team members, haven't we? And getting new clients.
So the last thing was what I called improving your assets. As a business, we've all took a knock and we've lost some staff and we've lost some customers, but look to the things that you have that are assets of your business and make a plan to improvement. Now, the first thing I'd started with, and actually in some ways I'd almost like to put this right at the beginning of the talk, improve your images. If you plan to take better images in Salon, it affects everything. You'll have better website down the line, you'll have better social media posts, you'll have better adverts, everything will get better. And it's not rocket science. You're not planning a photo shoot. What you want is to capture good quality client hair images. So go and read our guide on our website, buy a ring light, choose where it's going to be, create some staff incentives to get the ball rolling. In 12 months' time, you'll have lots and lots of great images, and that will change everything you do. Because suddenly you've got images to use everywhere. And so many salons don't have good images.
Definitely.
And Phil, while you're doing it, have a staff policy about the use of social media images.
That's a very good point, Phil. And in terms of appointment bookings, would you recommend that your clients add on 5-10 minutes onto appointment times to take the pictures for social media?
Yes, yeah. I mean, it'll be even quicker than that once you've got used to it. It can be a really quick process. But or train a junior member of staff or the receptionist who's going to take the bill. Yeah, it'll be different for each salon. But and I think hopefully we will have a little bit more time for appointments at the moment anyway. So. So images was the first asset that every salon should have great images, and unfortunately many don't. Google rank is your next one. Your website and its position on search engines is absolutely key. It really is the most fundamental and most important thing. There's a free Google rank report on our website. There's lots of pages. I'm not going to go over all of them now because it's the core of what we do, and there are pages and pages. But put it on your plan. Check what your Google rank is now. Check what it is in 6 months' time after you've done some work for balayage and derma fillers and Botox, all the phrases, whatever services you provide, check your Google rank, do something about it.
And to check your Google rank, Phil, you literally just typing the name of your salon into Google.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it manually. You could sit in front of your computer and type in balayage Covent Garden or wherever you are, derma filler Aberdeen, see where you come up on Google. Do it for all your phrases and the most generic phrases, best salon, salon nearby. But phrases are always good because often that's what a client would type into Google and do the same. Do it on your computer, then do it on your mobile phone because that's even more telling. Because if you do it on a mobile phone, before you see the search results, you get a map and you get 3 listings. And that's called your Google business listing. And there's only 3 salons that will appear. Now, you can be number 1. If you type in balayage Covent Garden, our client, I think, is number 2 on the map, and is also number, I think, 2 and 3 on the search results. So you can do them all, but it takes time. It's not a quick fix. It's not something you do today, but the Google business listing is the next thing on my checklist, and we show you how to do it and what's involved, but it's really important, particularly for mobile phones. But go and check now. Go and get your mobile out and do some searches for some of your phrases and things like best salon, top salon, salon reviews, and see where you come.
Fantastic. Is sponsored listings worth it on Google, Phil?
Ads,
where people pay to get that top listing on Google?
We do a lot of Google ads. I do a lot of them, more, and they're good, but I always say, you're spending money. So first, fix your Google rank. Because if you're number 1 for hair extensions in Liverpool, why pay to advertise above yourself? So you've sorted it, and you're number 1 probably forever without paying Google the money. So first, try and be as high as you can organically. In other words, your website is good enough to earn a top position. But if you want to be number 1 tomorrow, fine, pay for a Google ad. But don't do it for every phrase. Try not to do it for salon and hair color and best salon. No, choose something like hair extensions or balayage, where it's a closely defined set of phrases where you're not going to spend a fortune, but also you still need to send them to a good web page. So don't just pay for an advert. I get adverts. I'm in Spain, and I see adverts for salons in London. So the people who've set up the adverts are doing the targeting wrong, because
you shouldn't be seeing that
close by. Exactly. So get somebody who knows what they're doing to do it. But to me, Google AdWords are almost the last thing on the list because it costs money. Do everything first that's actually rebuilding without costing money.
And how long would it take to boost your ranking on Google by doing it the organic route, Phil?
I was looking at one we launched a month ago, and I mean, every phrase was up. Some of them had jumped in from outside the top 50 straight into number 1. But realistically, 3 months, when we build a new website, we will often send a Google rank report about 2 or 3 months later and go, look at that, amazing. Now wait 6 months, it's going to be even more amazing. By the end of the first year, we expect you to be on page 1 and top 3 for most things. By the end of year 3, all our salons will tell you. I mean, Donna, we spoke to before in Ipswich. I think she's number 1 for everything in Ipswich. And that through time, that website has become exceptional. And I've got lots like that. Glow in Denver. It's a big city, and we got them to number 1 for just about every phrase in Denver. But it won't happen overnight. You want immediate results and then continual results, continual improvement.
Fantastic. Actually, Phil, Michael Embleton, he's got in touch with us, and he says he's been with you, Phil, for 7 years, and it's totally turned his business around. So we've appointed. He's appointed a manager, Steph, who's brilliant. When you work the price compared to what comes in with new clients from our website, we totally love Salon Guru, and the Salon Durham could not live without you guys. So there you go. That's lovely to hear, isn't it? But like you say, Phil, it's taking the time and putting the effort in to boost your rankings and to improve your search results.
And I'm going to finish off, I think, probably getting near the end, what I started with. Have a plan, get some expert help, and learn from what the best salons are doing. And if you go to our website, on that page, salonguru.net/rebuild, I've done a checklist and examples for everything we've talked about today. So you didn't have to take notes, it's all there. And by all means, just ask for a quick chat. I'm happy to call and talk to anybody, it's and share some of my experience with them.
And it's a completely free checklist, isn't it? So anyone can go on there and
no sign up needed, just go and have a look.
Fantastic. And obviously I've asked some questions throughout, but if you have any specific questions, Phil and his team are more than happy to answer them as well. Brilliant. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground, haven't we, Phil, this morning?
Yes, once again.
I hope you've all enjoyed tuning in, and please do have a look at the checklist, salonguru.net/rebuild, to get that plan in order to make sure that your hair salon goes from strength to strength over the coming months and years as we move out of the pandemic and into some form of normality. It's now or never, really, isn't it, Phil, to make sure that.
Yeah, I think now's the time to be positive.
Yeah.
All right, there's still issues. Time to be positive, time to plan, time to make things better. I certainly, need some positivity now. So, and I think there is. I think we can make this a good year.
Definitely. And taking on board, like we've said, that the pandemic and COVID-19 have changed people's attitudes. So it's embracing that into your plan moving forward as well. That's going to be key to success. Oh, fantastic. Well, it's been a great session, Phil. Thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you very soon.
I'm sure we'll all meet again very soon.
Definitely. And enjoy using Phil's checklist.
All right. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Take care, Phil. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.